I think we'd all agree that our predictions for these Grand Slams may not have always been quite right.
He probably will make the quarterfinals. How easy that'll be, I'm not sure. Probably not as easy as previous years, but I just don't see him being able to beat Novak in the best of five if he's got any issue whatsoever.
But sometimes we manage to nail our predictions. It's almost like we were channeling our inner soothsayer.
I think the only other player maybe in the favourites bracket that could pose a good challenge is on Jabeur, because she's got quite a powerful game as well. I think on grass that might favour her a little bit more. But I think she got injured in when she was playing doubles with Serena. But I mean, I'm assuming she's still going to be fit. So she's probably the only one that I'd put in that like top bracket that could possibly challenge her. But I think Iga's just she's a level above everyone else at the moment.
Did anyone catch who Merlin's favourite player was? I'm pretty sure he mentioned him every episode. Have a look and see.
I'm going to go for a slightly different prediction for a dark horse, and I'm going to go with Tsitsipas to win the competition. I mean, I can't really say two players to win it, but that's what I'm doing. If my first pick doesn't win it, then my second pick's got to win it. So I'm going to go with Tsitsipas purely because he's in the other half of the draw, and I think if Novak has to play Nadal and then Alcaraz, and even if Alcaraz beats Novak, that's still going to be like a pretty tough match, I'd imagine. And I think Tsitsipas, again, last year, he got to the final and he was literally like so close to winning it. And obviously Novak came from two sets down. Yeah. So he's got good memories of the place. And he's in decent enough form. Sure, he lost to Novak in the final of Rome, but you know, that anyone can lose to Novak in the final. So
he's a tough one. I'm never quite sure I understand his mentality, especially in the big matches. And you could put it down to, you know, early days. He's not so early days anymore, but early days and not having won too much yet and nerves and all of that sort of thing. But there's something when I watch him that feels quite nearly man. And I hate to say that of someone because it's kind of condemning them to being forgotten.
Or like Casper Ruud was nearly man last week. This week's nearly man, it is.
This week's nearly man. And that's, you know, to be honest, that's my reply to you. You're saying dark horse, I'm saying dark horse nearly man.
Do you think he'll ever win a Grand Slam?
Oh, that's a rough question. I think his chances of winning a Grand Slam depend on a kind draw in his favour, I must admit. Which again is mean, but I must say that because there's just something that doesn't seem to quite go right for him in those big moments.
We certainly weren't afraid of some cutthroat journalism. There have been some dramatic turns this year in tennis, all over the tour and at lower levels of tennis. Have a look back and see what we discussed.
In fact, I'm not even going to go with such a major tournament. I'm going to say the biggest tournament in world tennis is being stripped of ranking points. I think everyone's got it wrong here, if I'm quite honest. I think that they were wrong to start off saying that obviously these players couldn't play. I think you can take a strict and a harsh stance without going that far. Especially when obviously it's not like these players are fighting in Ukraine. It's merely a case of, you know, politics in one nation affecting another. Like, it's not like other countries are going to ban English players because Boris Johnson has done something weird that week. So,
which he does every week. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know the scale's different, and I know that people feel very strongly about this sort of thing. But again, politics and sport, I don't think it should mix that much, at least not in terms of policy response. I think secondly, I think that in order to strip ranking points is also the wrong move. I think that you can also put pressure on a tournament without doing something that feels beyond extreme, if I'm quite honest, as well. Because to say to, again, the biggest tournament in the world, oh, you mean nothing to us now, isn't exactly an open dialogue and is not exactly something that includes the players in making decisions. Just feels like a bunch of people throwing toys out of the pram. So, again, I think everyone's got it wrong. I'm hoping U-turn will equal U-turn in the long run. I'm hoping that English LTA will make a change, and hopefully that'll change everything else. But, again, we might not know. If so, Wimbledon are going to have to strip the price of their tickets significantly.
Who thinks they nailed one of the quizzes this year as well? Our trivia questions left some people baffled and left Ben with barely any points. See if you can get some of the questions that we asked this year right as we reflect on some of the best.
If Iga Swiatek was to win the French Open, she would equal the record for consecutive wins on the women's tour. So my question is, who currently holds this record? And your options are Serena Williams, Venus Williams, Steffi Graf, or Ash Barty. Pretty simple question. Who is the youngest winner of the French Open, male or female?
Ooh.
Your options are as follows. Martina Hingis, Michael Chang, Rafael Nadal, or Monica Seles.
Question number 4. So we all know that the winner, no matter how many controversies over the years have contributed to these decisions, we all know that the winner receives a £2.5 million paycheck. And that's now both on the men's and women's side, and rightfully so, might I add. But what does the runner-up receive? And I've got 4 options here for you. First option is £1,050,000. The second is £1,250,000. The third option is £1,500,000. And option number 4 is a pat on the back, something money just can't buy. Question number 5. The gold trophy available at Wimbledon, the gold trophy that someone wins, as well as that 2.5 million paycheck, is quite unique and actually has a pineapple on the top of it. And I'm not sure if everyone knows this. What I want to know is, why does it have a pineapple on the top of it? You've got 4 options here again. The first is, it is a nod to British sailing tradition. Number 2 is, it symbolized wealth back in the 17th and 18th centuries. Number 3, pineapples and cream used to actually be the common Wimbledon food. And option number 4 is to encourage nutrition amongst all us tennis fans.